All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at a huge conflict that's really shaking up the creative world as we know it. It's artists versus artificial intelligence. And this isn't just some small debate. It's a fight for jobs, for consent, and honestly, for the future of creativity itself. To really get what's at stake here, you have to feel the emotion behind it. For working artists, this past year has been absolutely brutal. As one source puts it, there's an existential dread that's just rampant. For them, this isn't some far-off, abstract thing to talk about. No, it's a full-blown crisis, and it's threatening their careers right now. So let's start with that human cost. We're talking about real people, professional illustrators, designers, concept artists, who have poured years, sometimes their entire adult lives, into honing their craft. And now they're watching their livelihoods just get put on the chopping block. So here's the fundamental clash, right? On one side, you have artists watching their commissions just dry up. They're getting laid off from major companies, and their work, the very style they've spent years developing, is being fed into AI models without anyone even asking them. But on the other side, you've got corporations jumping on these AI generators. Why? To fill production gaps, to move faster, to cut costs, all while claiming it's covered under the legal idea of fair use. Well, conflict like this was never gonna stay in the studio, was it? It was bound to end up in the courtroom, and that's exactly what happened. Artists decided they weren't just gonna take this line down. They're fighting back, and they're fighting back hard. And this is where the whole story just takes a massive turn. In what is being called a milestone victory, a U.S. judge ruled that a huge class action lawsuit by artists against AI companies, we're talking Midjourney, Stability AI, can actually move forward. A lot of experts thought this case would get thrown out, so for it to proceed, that is a really, really big deal. You know, at the heart of this whole lawsuit is a really simple but powerful idea. As one of the plaintiffs, artist Carla Ortiz, puts it, we're here saying that's deeply unfair. That's not okay. The case is basically challenging the entire foundation of how these AI companies operate, using artists' work to train their for-profit models without any consent, without any credit, and certainly without any compensation. Now, what's so fascinating about this ruling is that it pushes the case into what's called the discovery phase. Okay, that sounds like a dry legal term, but trust me, its implications are massive. It means the artists' lawyers can now demand that these big tech companies open up their books. We're talking internal documents, emails, and this is the big one, the specific details of what copyrighted work was used to train their AI. This is the moment the AI companies were desperately hoping to avoid. And the ripple effects here could be huge. The judge's decision hints that it's not just the AI developers who could be in trouble, but any company that licenses and uses these systems for their business. What that does is send a massive warning shot across the entire corporate world, basically saying, hey, if you use these so-called exploitative models, you're taking on a real legal risk. And that might just be enough to make them hit the pause button on this mad rush to adopt the tech. But listen, this fight isn't only happening behind courtroom doors. Artists are also organizing on the streets, in their union halls, and they're showing a kind of unity that the industry just hasn't seen in a very long time. And the threat, it feels incredibly real to them. Mike Rianda, the director of that amazing animated movie, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, said he's actually been in rooms with executives who have openly mused that AI could literally just take half the jobs and say goodbye. So this isn't some made-up fear. It's a direct response to what they're hearing from the people at the top. And yeah, that kind of talk, it absolutely lit a fire under the creative community. The Animation Guild, for instance, is now making AI protections its #1 priority in their big negotiations with Hollywood studios. This isn't just business as usual. This is a level of mobilization that is totally unprecedented. I mean, if you want a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. Thousands of animation workers showed up for a Stand with Animation rally. It was the biggest rally in the entire history of their guild. And the feeling there was described as just uniformly, passionately united. Not against technology, mind you, but against using that technology to devalue their life's work and take away their jobs. So we've seen the legal fight. We've seen the union organizing. But this all brings up a deeper question, doesn't it? What is it, beyond just a paycheck, that these artists are fighting so hard to protect? So, what exactly makes a human artist so valuable? The argument here is that this fight, it isn't just about a job. It's about protecting a whole set of uniquely human skills. Skills that you learn through art that, as it turns out, are incredibly valuable pretty much everywhere else too. Okay, so take someone with a background in theater, for example. What do they learn? Well, they learn incredibly practical, useful skills. Running a stage production, that's a masterclass in project management. Working with barely any money, that teaches you how to be scrappy, how to do more with less. And when a prop breaks or an actor forgets a line live on stage, you learn improvisation on a whole other level. It is the ultimate get-it-done training. And then there's the whole emotional intelligence piece. You see, good acting isn't about being fake. It's about digging deep, about intimately understanding the human condition through observation and what one source calls painfully detailed introspection. That process builds a deep sense of empathy, a skill that is absolutely essential for understanding clients, customers, coworkers, you name it. You'll learn that in Acting 101, not in macroeconomics. And here's one that might seem like a no-brainer, but it's surprisingly rare in the business world. Great presentation skills. The ability to stand up in front of a group of people, be confident, and deliver a message that's effective and even entertaining, that's a superpower. And theater training delivers that, big time. So when you start to put all these pieces together, you see, this isn't some simple man versus machine story. It's really a fight for agency. It's a fight about what we as a society actually value.
Let's just put it side by side. On one hand, you have this cold, automated process. It ingests data without asking, and then it creates output that directly competes with the very humans it learned from. And on the other hand, you have this messy, collaborative, human process, one that's built on teamwork, on empathy, and on that genuine struggle to understand what it means to be human.
And this brings us to what might be the most powerful way to reframe this whole debate. You know, Silicon Valley loves to talk about how AI democratizes art. But as one journalist points out, what we're actually seeing here are the artists themselves, out in the streets, in the courts, fighting to democratize the use of AI. They are demanding a say in how this incredibly powerful technology is going to shape their lives and their entire industry. So when you boil it all down, this battle isn't really about stopping progress. It's about who gets to control it. This is a fight for consent, it's a fight for compensation, and it's a fight for agency over your own life's work. The question that's left hanging in the air is, who is going to win this fight for the future of creativity?